Hey, it's Jay from Simple Woods Life. How's it going, everybody? Are you staying dry where you are? Are you staying dry and even potentially warm where you are? Huh? We had some weather, if you recall from the last video. Hey? We had some weather. We had the kind of heat that I've never seen in my life. Not true, see it every year. But I want to say that because it's much more impactful. But it was the kind of heat, well, it felt like Mother Nature was reaping her vengeance upon us for the sins of our forefathers.
I'm vengeance.
And the heat came, and it melted. It melted people. It's so hot. And the rivers, you could see them misting. It wasn't mist, it was evaporation. Literally, the lakes were evaporating up into the sky. Into the sky! And everybody started to get wrinkly. Moisturizing companies, their sales went through the roof because they're like,
look at all these wrinkles.
Record profits in moisturizing because people were wrinkling. But it wasn't wrinkly skin, it was dehydration. Our bodies were literally boiling from the inside out. 100%. So that's what happened. And then, one day it broke. One day, 20 minutes. It was beautiful. We're like, oh my goodness, we made it through. And then you heard doo-doo, and you looked at your phone and it was severe weather warning, thunderstorms. and that hasn't stopped. Good for the garden, huh? Frickin' segue, brah. Let's take a look at my garden. Look at these potatoes. These tubers, they're just chilling, brah. I planted these, 4 weeks ago maybe? And I hilled them after the first week and I hilled them after the second week. And I can't hill them anymore because I found a problem with this raised bed. But I've got an idea. And basically what it is a raised bed that has structured supports. Imagine a U. As I hill, I'll just slat the boards in. And it also means I can't have a half potato, half corn garden because I hilled it so much that I was starting to smother the corn. However, we got enough potatoes here. I'm gonna keep hilling them, but I can't cover the greenery any longer. Yukon Gold, Red Pontiac, this is a month.
Holy smack-a-doodle-doo.
As you've heard Al Pacino say. And we've got our corn. We've got our corn. Knee-high by the 4th of July is what Miss Lady always says. And that's a pretty good indicator of, I guess, how your harvest is going to go by the end of the summer. So we are what today? The 27th? Yes, the 27th. Got Canada Day coming up on Monday. Come on. You know I'm Applewood smoking some ribs up, bruh.
It's gonna be the weekend of meat.
But Monday, Canada Day. God, I need a haircut. Oh, I need a haircut. Anyway, 3 days after that, it'll be the 4th of July. So, you know, let's say a week. We're there. We're gonna be knee-high by the 4th of July. Here we are with our peppers. Green bell peppers, yellow bell peppers, and then red bell peppers. And at the end is our jalapenos. When I first planted these, you know, they were fine. But a week and a half later, they were looking a little rough. And we had mushrooms growing in here. And when I spoke to them at the garden center when I was in town one day, they had said, I think, I remember it correctly, that brown mushrooms are just moisture in the soil. And white mushrooms are a sign of root rot. And I've got a couple of white mushrooms in there. So like, oh, sugar shack. Well, they sent me home with some garden sulfur. Well, they didn't send me home with it. We had to buy it. But they sent us home with garden sulfur. Jingle this around the roots and on the plant itself or whatever. And I did that. I've done it once. And big difference. Big difference in how things are looking. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye on things. The jalapenos did flower. Still the flowers on a couple of them. Hey! We've got a little jalapeno. This is what I'm talking about though, guys. Look at this. What are we? 2¼ almost 60 millimeters of rain, 2¼ inches in the last 2 days. So it has been insanity for the garden. Not complaining though, better than the alternate, I suppose. So our tomatoes are doing a bit better. We've got quite a few little ones coming. Again, these plants were hurting after the first week, and more of those little mushrooms, but there was also a black fungus that was on the leaves. We picked up this tomato and vegetable insecticide and used it once on the leaves, and it seems to have cleared up the black film. I guess that was some kind of a mold. It cleared that up, and the plants are looking a lot better. I do have to come in and trim them a touch. Same with one of the jalapeno plants. The rest of them were fine, but one had black on the leaves a week ago. So this has been a big helper. And I'm not seeing a ton of holes in the leaves. These leaves are beautiful and green. So I think our companion plants are helping. This bush is looking a little beefier than this bush. And this is the one I dug deeper. But who knows? Hardneck garlic. We planted this in the fall, and isn't it looking lovely? I got 24 bulbs of garlic growing, all of them gorgeous, all of them beautiful, and look at the scapes. Huh? So somebody had mentioned it on my channel last year. I'm sorry, I can't remember if it was Doug. How are you, Doug? I think it was Doug had mentioned the garlic scapes were absolutely delicious. And so I've read about them since then, and the concept being that these will open and flower. So if we cut them now, snip, snip, it sends a message to the plant to put all of its energy into the bulb, which is what we want, big bulbs. I'm probably going to quadruple the amount of garlic we grow next year. We go through a lot of garlic, and maybe if we do steaks this weekend, maybe I'll make some kind of a scape butter. So I've been researching all kinds of stuff for that, but we're gonna do that now. And my buddy was telling me, just pull these out and you can have, he called it early garlic or spring garlic or something. And I was like, no. He said, yeah, but it kind of tastes like chives. And I'm like, dude, I got chives. So no, I'm not gonna pull them out, but these are looking tremendous. Tickled pink. Very happy with these. I'm not mad, I'm just squinting from the sun. There, see? Happy guy. These are awesome. They're looking great. We've got our squash doing well. Even getting some flowers over here. So I've just begun starting to train it with the fabric tape, the Velcro tape, the lawn, the plant Velcro. You know, this stuff. Begun just starting to let it know, hey guys, go up, not out. And it's catching on. And the leaves are beautiful, like gorgeous, gorgeous big leaves. Nothing's eating them, knock on wood. But I'm hoping the marigolds as companion planting is part of what's keeping that healthiness with the squash alive. But yeah, this is really coming along beautiful. Strawberries look luscious, don't they? Oh, look at that big, beautiful garden. Youngblood Farms was having a giggle the last time I weeded this entire garden because he said give it a week and the weeds will be back. Oh, they were. But we did get strawberries this year. We did get berries this year. We got strawberries. And from what I understand, They say about 2 years, I guess, with the plant before you get strawberries. And I didn't even think that these would survive, given the fact that last fall I was just tearing them out of one garden and tossing them in here. Ms. Lady and I came out one day, we had a beautiful strawberry, we ate it, it was delicious, it was wonderful. Next day, there was 7 or 8 strawberries that we noticed that were just about ripe. We picked the ones that were ripe, and there was, you know, a handful of ones that were just whitey green. Carol Joey, or Joey Carol, one of my subscribers, it's hard to tell what's the first name, but had mentioned about painting rocks red. And we had bought rocks at the Home Depot, which I know is dumb. You bought rocks? Yeah, we bought the, you know, the tumbled pebbles, tumbled stones. And Miss Lady started painting them. And I guess we were just a day or two late, because when we came out to get the remaining handful of harvest, the youngest came out here, got 5. Got 5, and the rest were gone. So I have since gone through and planted our red rocks, which next year, screw you birds. And I know who it was too, because I was working on the pool pump and I was watching Robin Redbreast just sitting on the trellis thinking, which one should I eat next? Unknown how many times Missy Robin Redbreast has been hurting her beak with the stone. I am going to have to weed it again, obviously. We still have some strawberry flowers in there, so some strawberries could come back. But everything's wet now because it rained so much yesterday. I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna come out and weed it. And we'll see if we can't get part 2 going on. Our new monolithic addition for the beans is doing well. And I'm happy to say the beans I planted are already beginning to do their thing. The plants that were in there, peas and or beans, well, they're growing up from the inside, and they're straight up taking over. So pleased about that. Gotta watch out for Stuart, because he's always hiding here. So that's only been there about a week, but it'll be funny. It'll be funny at the end of the season to see this whole thing be filled. I'll have to get a stepladder out to to harvest. Because it's really tall, not because I'm short. But yeah, that's looking good. And when this whole thing weathers to, you know, cedar gray, the harshness of contrast between the gray netting and the wood will be different. And we'll see. We'll see if, you know, maybe I'll order some cattle panel when things go on sale. And the prices in Canada for that kind of stuff are a little bit stupid. But I've got no problem with this, and it has withstood wind in the last week. Like, our severe thunderstorm warnings were not a joke. Not a joke. This big U, this big steel and wood U, that's our hugel culture. It's basically a big giant pot, shape of a U. And the bottom's all metal reinforced and the whole 9 yards. Ah, I hear a fox. She's calling her kits. But it's all metal reinforced. Do you hear that? Maybe I shut up. I hope the camera picks it up. And it's filled with big logs and big sticks and cardboard and all kinds of stuff. And then topped with soil. And every year we top it with more soil. And as that wood and everything kind of breaks down, decomposes the whole 9 yards, it adds nutrients into it. We'll say it is the only one that I constantly have to battle mushrooms with. So I'm sure there's something to be said in that. Every time I talk, she screams. I hope you heard that. Trying to get the little ones to pay attention. So anyway, that's the main garden. We've got our strawberries, our squash, our beans, our garlic, our tomatoes, our jalapenos, our peppers, our corn, our red Pontiac and Yukon Gold potatoes. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'll take you up to the kitchen area where I've got my herbs growing as Mom continues to scream for her kits. Wind's picking up. We've got our herb garden here, and I don't know if you guys, how familiar you are with the channel, but I built these modular herb boxes last year. We had planted herbs in various spots throughout the years, and they're really sensitive to the sun. So we've got this underneath the soffit here, and I built these small little boxes out of cedar, and then the frame itself out of cedar. I did move it out a little bit when we were getting some rain this week, because the soffit actually does a really good job of protecting it from the harsh rain. But if you don't get directional rain, you just get it coming straight down, they don't get as much as they ideally want. But they're flourishing, they're looking great. We've got a series of plants and companion plants. Our marigolds here, then our cherry tomatoes, and there's a couple already to chomp on. We've got our chives, our dill. We like chives and dill on potatoes, making tzatziki, making some yogurt herb sauces, stuff like that there. Then we've got our mint, that's for mojitos. Then we've got more marigolds, because we've got to protect those mojitos. And then we've got more mint, because I said mucho, 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 mucho mojitos, por favor.
How many mojitos do you want?
Friggin' mucho. Then we've got our basil, and more basil, some thyme, and lavender companion plant, and everything's great. And the one thing we didn't plant this year was cilantro. We talked about it. We bought a cilantro, and Ms. Lady's got it growing in the house. But you know, you get the bunch of cilantro, not the clamshell, but the bunch. I'm talking about this. Do you buy this? Do you buy this, kids? Depending on the meal, I might use this entire thing, right? When we're well, tonight I'm doing za'atar chicken with Bombay spiced potatoes, and between the herb sauce and the potatoes, I'm going to use at least that much. It's gotten to the point where in our fridge, any given time, 1, 2.5, 3. They say you've got families that love cilantro and families that hate it. Or I guess people love it, people hate it. We love it. We cannot get enough cilantro. Coriander. Doing a carne asada on the weekend, on Saturday. It's Canada Day weekend coming up, eh? Miss Lady's really keen on keeping everything snipped just so. Like when the basil goes to flower, which will then alter the flavor, she's always on those. Constantly snipping below the nodes, keeping the basil and the dill down. So that's awesome. That's it. Short and sweet. Or medium-sized and not quite sour. I'm not sure what it is. But that's the long and short of the garden. That's where we are right now. And we're just going to keep growing and keep adding to it. The next project is kind of dependent on what's going on. I know everybody has been chomping at seeing the cabin start, and it will start. I've got a couple of projects that I'm doing before I even have that as a consideration. But I'll be collecting the logs for that, or moving some of the logs I've already felled to the site. But that likely won't be in the next little bit. There's other projects that I want to get done and that I have to get done. If we can figure out the potting shed, where we're going to be starting our seeds, that's a pretty big necessity. The canoe rack is something I'd like to get tackled. There's just, there's a few small projects there. I want to get camping in, I want to get quadding in, I want to get boating in, just hanging out at the pool. But there is one project, I'll take you back to the woodlot, and I'll walk you through that real quick. I'm almost at the spot where I think it's the next project. I need to just figure out some of the finer small details, but Let me show you. The next project is behind me. Last year, I spent the summer finishing Big Papa, the sea nymph. It was a great project and a lot of learning for me, but I loved it. And now we've got this boat. I want to get it out of the garage because that's where my truck goes. But it's been in there because other than a loose-fitting Canadian Tire boat cover, I didn't want it to be that exposed to the elements. Back there, I'm going to build a boathouse, which is not the right term for it. A boat port? Like a carport, but for boats? Essentially, I've cleared out kind of a square here. I'm going to have to take that one cedar down at the back. But tucked in enough, I want to build it out of just logs. Just, is it Sugi Shoban? Is that it? You know, the method where you smolder, what do you call it? Like, not, kind of burn, but you smolder the ends of timbers so they stay, you put that in the ground and they stay sort of better from pests. I mean, cedar's got natural pest repellents anyway, but that's one of the reasons that I built this big fire pit back in the woodlot, was because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of work like this. So I'm thinking at the moment, I've roughly sketched it out, 6 timbers, maybe 8, 4 each side or 3 each side. And then I don't know if I'm going to either try and, with my Grandberg chainsaw mill, rip lumber to do the roof, or buy some dimensional lumber. The only thing I kind of want to buy on this is steel roofing. But it'll sit here, and primarily its job is going to be protect the boat from snow load and immense weather. I've toyed with the thought of maybe putting some walls up on it down the road. Right now, that's, I mean, I'm talking conservation area picnic shelter, right? I'm talking provincial park picnic shelter. A carport of sorts. That was kind of a cool rhyme. Spitting bars back here. So there we go, that's it, that's all, my friends. I'm gonna get camping soon. And between then and now, I'll figure out how many of these trees I need, size and stuff like that, and see how difficult it will be for one dude who's never done it to build himself a log carport. I'm getting eaten alive here by the mozzies, the mosquitoes, those little nibblers, Canada's national bird. Hello, Mr. Plane. This is Jay from Simple Woods Life reminding you, your gardens are places where things are doing all the growing, so you can eat them.